Greetings, friends. It's me, Wayman. Haven't been on for some time. I've been, as I said before, reading in the Gnostic texts, but then I realized I had to go read Greek philosophy because that would allow me to see the large influence that Hellenization had on not only the Gnostic texts, but also on Christianity. And I'll never see Paul the same way again, and I'll never look at the Gnostic literature the same way again. And also large sections of Judaism that was penned in that period, and some of the theological ideas, which I don't have time to get into right now, I'll never look at the same way again. It's pretty amazing. So the conversation that I'm elbowing my way into and pushing some people out of the way is God's salvation system fair? A debate with proportional response. The second video section of this, and between peace in Christ alone. And peace in Christ alone says that it has not changed. It has changed. And the soteriology of Torah is different from the Babylonian salvation idea, is different from the early Christian Jesus ideas, and which is different from the Hellenistic Judeo early Christian Paul's writings. Why do I say that? If anybody has read the Republic of Plato, you will very well pick out the influences it had on Paul in those philosophical ideas. Many Christians have not read Greek philosophy, and therefore have a hard time thinking about Paul in such light. Socrates in Plato talked about salvation being the pursuit of virtues. One way that I have seen the soteriology of Christianity as being unjust, which would make it unfair, is that it doesn't allow room for all people to pursue virtues, based on the assumption that only with divine help you would need you would be able to pursue virtues. This is incorrect. I believe now that anybody has the potential to pursue virtues and reach those highest forms of virtue, which, according to Paul, would be righteousness or the path of salvation. It's just worded differently. The idea of sanctification would be obtaining and reaching those highest forms of virtue for the highest good. And slipping would be allowing vices to come back into your life. So atheists can, without ever quoting Romans 10:9 and 10, without ever believing anything, strive to obtain the highest virtues. Had Christianity strove to obtain the highest virtue of, say, justice, we would not have the problems that we have with bigotry towards certain groups in our society, because to not treat each case and everybody with the same forms of justice as we treat our fellow Christians is injustice. And injustice in any form according to Plato and Aristotle and Socrates, is a sin or a vice. So, Plato's idea of salvation and Socrates' idea of salvation is the pursuit of a virtue to its end. In Paul, Corinthians 13, he talks about love. John talks about love, the word. This was the virtue of love. They see Christ as being a total embodiment of these virtues, of the virtue of love. But in reality, there's many angles, and I do not believe that through the Holy Spirit or the fruits of the Spirit you manifest these sorts of things as being fruits from a God, because even the gods themselves should be measured by these virtues and the pursuit of these virtues to their highest forms, and they should embody these virtues, whatever they may be. There's hundreds of them, and if they do not, that's how we tell if a deity is just or unjust, if a deity is truthful or not truthful, if a deity pursues moderation and some of these other things, temperance. So when Paul gives his long list of the fruits of the Spirit, I noticed right away, after reading Plato and some of the Greek philosophers, Socrates, that justice was not a fruit of the Spirit. Was not a fruit of the Spirit. Love, joy, peace, long-suffering, goodness, temperance, meekness, all those were, but justice was not. And we can see it today. So, that's just one example. So, God's salvation system has changed, and if it does not justly include everybody, meaning some laws or given unfairly, or you have to confess Jesus with your mouth and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, how is that setting anyone on the track to pursuing the highest forms of these virtues? By just believing and saying something and having the belief in the belief cannot save anybody. To me, logically, right now, I think that's why I had the problem before with Paul, but now I understand where he's coming from. And I'm going to be doing finishing up my Paul series right after I get done with the Gnostic stuff. But just wanted to chime in there. Take care, friends. You all have the potential to become virtuous. Nobody's ever told you that. And I have always believed that the Good Samaritan could have been an atheist and pursued and accomplished the highest forms of virtue. So, take care, friends. Hopefully I added something there. Happy Thanksgiving, and remember, if everybody's thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking.